What's happening, everybody? Welcome along to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. My name's Harry Colley, and I'm here to give you some reaction that Jarrad Branthwaite is now expected to undergo surgery following a complication in the recovery from his hamstring injury. The club released this statement at the time of recording about an hour ago. It said Everton Football Club can confirm that Jarrad Branthwaite has experienced a complication in his recovery from a hamstring injury. Following specialist consultation, it has been determined that the defender will undergo a surgical procedure tomorrow to address the issue, and then Branthwaite will commence a structured rehabilitation program under the supervision of the club's medical team following the operation. So the defender, who of course signed a big contract in the summer, one of the biggest bits of business that the club did over the summer months, who is yet to feature this season in competitive action, is now going to be out for a longer spell. Now, what does this mean for the player, and what does this mean for Everton Football Club? Well, I think firstly for Everton Football Club, it's very much business as usual, even though it doesn't really feel like it right now. And what I mean by that is we've not had Jarrad Branthwaite in the Everton side this season to date. Michael Keane has come in alongside James Tarkowski, and he's done very well. I think a lot better than many people expected that he would do. And so subsequently, he will continue in that role, injuries permitting. It looks very much like it will be Michael Keane and James Tarkowski as the centre-back pairing at Everton, whilst Jarrad Branthwaite recovers from this latest injury setback. Now, there might be one or two other options here as we head towards the January transfer window. For example, it might be that Jake O'Brien moves over and partners with James Tarkowski. Maybe Seamus Coleman, who featured quite heavily for Ireland in the international break, comes back in at right back. I think that's really the only option right now. Maybe James Garner can come in at right back and Jake O'Brien can move over to centre back. But right now, I would very much expect David Moyes to continue with the Jarrad Branthwaite. That would be wishful thinking, wouldn't it? But the Michael Keane and the James Tarkowski centre back pairing. What it might mean coming in to January is that Everton's inaction in the summer for pursuing a right back might now be pushed into action, and Jarrad Branthwaite's injury or prolonged spell on the sidelines might just do that. And the main reason I say this now is because Jake O'Brien has had a couple of games now at right back where he's starting to look a little bit more like a centre-back playing out of position, where he looked very comfortable in that position since David Moyes put him there towards the end of last season. It might now mean that the time with Branthwaite being out for a little bit longer, it might mean that we pursue a right back option in January. Fingers crossed. I think that is the way that the club should go personally. But what does it mean for the player? I mean, he signed this big bumper deal. He was expected to feature as a core part of David Moyes' squad. And again, his injury record is not great. He missed the start of last season under the previous manager. He's now, of course, going to miss the rest of October. The club haven't specified just how long he will be out following the surgery, but you would imagine it's at least another 6 weeks. I'm just speculating there, but you would say probably until at least the Christmas period, where he might get some game time over that busy run of fixtures, but maybe even January. Again, just pure speculation on my part, but you would imagine surgery, it's at least a 6-week recovery time. We know that he has ambitions of playing in the England squad. He had ambitions probably of giving Thomas Tuchel something to think about and maybe getting on that plane to head on over to the World Cup in America, in Mexico, and Canada. I think that's probably very unlikely now. I think he had the most to do of the centre-back options to show and get on Thomas Tuchel's radar, and missing what will be probably more than half a season with injury and having quite a questionable injury record, I think might mean that he misses this tournament. But again, we'd have to see when he comes back, how he plays when he comes back. But what does it mean again for Everton Football Club? I think what it means is that we're likely going to have to dip into the market, probably at right back, because we know we've got those centre back options there in Jake O'Brien, in Michael Keane? We've got loan slots available. Does he maybe go for a loan option at centre back as well? It again will just depend on, by the time we get to January, where we are at with Jarrad Branthwaite's injury. But I think what's incredibly frustrating is there seems to be rumours or speculation online that this surgery was an option in the summer and that the club opted against it, and that they felt that they could rehab him through it, and to get to the point where he was almost in contention to play in the game at the weekend against Man City, and now to have to go through the surgery and the timeline that you would imagine would be the same now, the same time to recover and rehab post-surgery. So to lose a player of Jarrad Branthwaite's standing for that long is frustrating if it feels like it's been slightly mismanaged by the club, although hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? But I still think that it isn't a huge miss for Everton Football Club, just on the basis that the centre-back pairing that has been in place this season has done relatively well this season, and that there are still, although very threadbare options at the back should there be more injuries. But as we've said, since the transfer window slammed shut in the summer, Everton are one or two more injuries away from a real problem, a real crisis, particularly in the defence. And this news now that Jarrad Branthwaite, who was this close to being back in the squad, is now out for another prolonged spell, is worrying if we pick up more injuries. What do you think Everton Football Club should do? How do you feel about the situation regarding Jarrad Branthwaite's injury? Do you see Jacob Bryan staying at right back? Do you see Tarkowski and Keane as the centre-back pairing? And where does this leave Jarrad Branthwaite in terms of his play time for Everton when he does come back? And where does it leave him, in your thoughts, with the World Cup set up in the England squad as well? Let us know. Remember to follow us on socials. Remember to like and subscribe to the Toffee Blues over on YouTube. This is me, Harry Colley, reporting on the news that Jarrad Branthwaite will undergo surgery following a complication with his hamstring recovery, and we will see you again very soon.